Dakika 18 baada ya saa 2 tumekuambia mapema pale asubuhi kwamba leo tutakuwa na wageni, na mgeni mmoja kati ya hao wawili tayari ameshafika na amekuja na kikosi kikubwa, lakini yote 9-10 unayoitegea ni Swahili Pot FM. Mahala popote pale ambapo kwamba uko hapa Mombasa, uko Kwale, uko Tana River, uko Kilifi ni 91.7, lakini 91.9 Lamu kule na 91.5 tunazungumzia Taita Taveta, www.swahilipotfm.co.ke. popote pale ambapo kwamba upo kwenye dunia hii bana, unatupata kwa njia ambayo kwamba ni nzuri na tamu zaidi ya kuvutia. Tuko naye sasa ndani ya studio Dr. Aruna Varsani,
yes.
Ambaye ni founder of Together for Better Foundation,
yes.
Na kikubwa tunakuja kuzungumzia collaborative menstrual health workshop, kuhakikisha kwamba bana tunaishi katika mazingira ambayo kwamba ni salama, watoto wetu wa kike wako vizuri, na vitu kama hivyo. Mimi bana niite Barisa, lakini niko na Josh the curator pamoja na Shamsa Abdi.
So welcome to studio Dr. Aruna Varsani. Umekuja pamoja, you've come with the whole team, yeah? People from, I believe, Together for Better Foundation.
Yes, they are actually the team in Mombasa.
Oh, they are from Mombasa.
Yes.
I would love for you to introduce yourself to someone who's listening to you for the first time. Share about your work, share where it all started, and you might also touch base on what Together for Better Foundation does.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Dr. Aruna Varsani, the founder of Together for Better Foundation.
Yes.
It's been 13 years. We are initiative on ending period poverty across Kenya. And coastal is close to my heart because I am brought up in Mombasa. Definitely, I do live now in Nairobi with my family and grown up 2 children. But the idea was born to end period poverty, and that's not only providing reusable sanitary towels. That's where also we want to educate our youth, educate our community on menstrual health and education. But what I do especially in this initiative and mission and vision for the foundation is to make it sustainable. Because when we talk about period poverty ending, it cannot end only by providing sanitary towels.
Yes.
So that's why we have innovated reusable sanitary towels, which are environment friendly, plastic free. They are chemical free also, and it's sustainable for 2 years by using upcycling some of the textile waste also.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's our mission and vision to end poverty by bringing multiple areas, different dialogues with the different youth and communities.
So we're gonna go step by step. First of all, Dr. Aruna Varsani.
Yes.
As a doctor, what do you do?
I've been honorable doctor. I don't hold any PhD, and I've been awarded twice the doctorate.
Yes.
Through Open University from US. So, no, my background, I'm actually a Montessori teacher.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yes, so it's been a decade. I did run a school in Nairobi, which was a Montessori Plus Center International School.
Okay.
Yes, and when I saw that my heart is towards more of giving to the community and spending more time with the school students, I sold my business and I said I want to go into the entrepreneurial space.
Yes. And when did all this start? When did you found Together for Better Foundation?
This is our 13 years.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been long now. It's more than a decade.
So when we talk about period poverty, I believe period poverty is the lack of access, not just to the materials, menstrual products, but also lack of education.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stigma surrounding it, and I believe it's even very weird that I'm the one who's talking about this. I know I might know little to no information about what period poverty is, but I believe that this is something that you saw, and believe that it is a problem that so many ladies, so many girls are facing.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the realization. Like, what was that situation? Where were you seated, and what situation was it that led you to believe that, okay, there's something in period poverty that we need to be doing? What was that challenge that the girls or the community around you were facing that led you to?
Because I was in an educational sector,
yes.
I saw the immediate person was a student, a girl child who was in a school, and she usually miss out or at least 3 to 4 days of her month. She will not able to attend the schools. But despite that, also I do come with a community where we hold a lot of culture practices. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's only in Kenya. It's also in India. It happens in the worldwide. So when I saw the poverty, I said poverty is not only having access to the pads, the poverty not having enough knowledge, the poverty around not talking about it, the poverty when a mother and a daughter or a father and daughter cannot have a conversation. I actually put all this under big word of poverty.
Yes.
And same time, I did see that our government is putting a lot of effort. Whatever it is, I have seen there is effort are being put on the ground. They involve the ministries, they involve the educators, they involve the youth and the community also. There are multiple dialogues happening, though there is a lot of room. So I said, how can I step up and keep at least that one girl in a school? That was the idea, because I am an educator and I see the value of education, and it was very important. And yes, immediately what I did was, while I was still running my school, and I said, how can I keep this girl into the school? The first idea was how to keep any child in a school. When I saw the children are begging food and everything on the road, and whenever I used to drive or commute from home to my school, I used to see them, why these children are still on the road. And I started, first initiative I started was establishing the libraries.
Yes.
To just provide them educational space where they can keep themselves safe and do something into the educational sector. When I started conducting those libraries, I realized that the second element is sanitary towel. And that's how the idea was born. I actually did 3 sanitary towels by sourcing that cotton material within my house, because I did not know what I was doing. I said, how can I keep that girl? That's what the motto was behind this. I collected some cotton material. Definitely, the older the material it gets, absorbent and comfort it becomes also. So I made about 3 sanitary towels, and immediate 3 women were the one who I gave them to try these sanitary towels. And one was my children's nanny. The second was also a teacher in my school. And the third one was my gatekeeper's wife.
Yeah.
And when I gave them these sanitary towels, they gave me the feedback, and that was the start.
Yes.
Because the feedback was so positive, it encouraged me to do more.
Yeah.
The journey which started with the 3 girls, now I sit with the data of 68,000 girls.
That's amazing, Rich. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
And that's what keeps me going, that let me keep that girl in a school.
Before I let Shamsa continue, once again, I'm never in the place to speak about this, but I hear stories of either my female friends or my girlfriend telling me about them getting into this age of them either getting the first period or them adjusting to until they got that first comfortable or effective how do I put it, menstrual product. It's a really difficult journey from the outside looking in, because you might find even when you get your first period at like 9 years and you don't know what is happening as a small girl.
Yeah.
And it's not like this is information that is readily available, and there's a lot of shame because you don't know what is happening. You become so shy, and you go ask your teacher, and they're like, maybe they don't have the correct information. It's also a bit embarrassing because you have stained your clothes, and there's some sort of stigma to that.
Yes.
So how does it look like educating the youngest girls about this new thing that is happening to their body, yet they do not get to understand what is happening?
Let me just first congratulate you, because even if you are talking about this, I can see you are a little sensitive because you don't have much information, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So well done.
Thank
because
you.
this is how we end period poverty, by involving also different genders.
Yes.
Yeah. When we talk about we're educating for gender equality, this is what we like to do. And thank you for today. You are championing for those millions of girls out there, and especially sitting in a coastal region, and you're talking about it. I'm sure we are motivating so many men out there. So what happened is, in my 13 years time, the brackets of receiving first period has changed 3 times. Due to the food we consume, due to the lifestyle we have, due to the nature of ground, maybe because there are some dry lands, there are some wetlands, all these things. But every time I had to change my training. It depends on the culture-based area, because I've been to 30 counties across Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, so every county has their own tribe and their own practices. And that's where I see that some of the young girls receive periods, even if they are learning into the curriculum space. 9-year-old girl will not come across that curriculum. And you will be so surprised. There's one case I came across was 6-year-old child who received her first period.
What?
Yes, 6 years old. Now, can you believe if the parents are not talking to her and we taking her as a toddler or a child, then who is going to educate her? And then the first time when she interact with her period and see that she's fully bleeded, she can be very traumatized.
Yes.
Because we only see blood when we get hurt. Otherwise, we don't see blood, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they need to be educated in a younger age now. So the first bracket when I started this initiative was about 13 to 14 years old girl used to receive their first period. In between, we shifted to 10 to 11 years. And now I easily say 8 to 9 years average.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the cases is 6 years, but average still is 8 to 9 years old
Yeah.
girl. So we need to modify our training or our teaching to that level.
Yes.
I cannot talk a doctor language there when she doesn't even understand what is menstruation as a word,
Yes.
right? She's been always told either you are dirty or you have your period, but nobody tell her in a medical language what it is. And even if you tell them visually, there are so many errors we are making. So every county I interact differently. I modify my training. It's not the same.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
custom.
That's what I use as my knowledge as a teacher, that how can I interact. You know, when a group of students, when they react to you, then you know that they're understanding what you're talking. But if they're sitting and just listening like the way, you know, we listen to our teacher and there's no further explanation, that is a failure lesson.
That's very true.
Okay.
That's really a failure lesson, because periods are not in a book. Periods are actually happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Periods are not into the clinic where gynecology sits only. Periods happens in a school. Periods happens in a bus station. Periods happens everywhere, even in the homes. So we need to modify those and make sure they understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Shamsa, kabla uingie, tuko naye hapa Dr. Aruna Varsani, tupate tone la sport, alafu tukirudi Shamsa ana pick up, alafu tuendelee na haya mazungumzo ya hedhi. Tunasoma leo, tuko darasani. Josh amezungumzia kuanzia miaka 9. Alafu tukitoka hapo utaniambia juaje na una mtoto.
Niko na dada mdogo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, you see.
Kwanza unafaa ujihami.
Maybe.
Mi kwanza nafaa jihami cause ile situation, if I get a daughter, what am I gonna tell them?
But before even daughter, you'll have a wife.
Yeah.
Before wife, you have a mom.
Yeah, I'm already there.
So you need to understand your mom.
Yes.
Right?
Oh.
And can you believe if you are only a child to your mother and mother goes through a lot of period pain, who will understand?
Actually.
Yeah.
That one I
100%.
had not thought about it. Okay, tupate tone la sport turudi. Shamsa, ulikuwa una swali?
Yes, I have a question
Yes.
for Dr. Varsani.
Yes.
When we speak of period poverty, you've put it in such a beautiful way. It's not about not being able to access the sanitary towels, but also lack of knowledge. But I want to tackle more on the lack of access of the sanitary towels. You know, when we think of periods, majority of us, we usually think of the sanitary towels that we get from the supermarkets, the one that you can only use once, just dispose it and not
Yeah.
use it again. But now we have the aspect of reusable, and there's a lot of stigma when we talk about reusable towels. There's even the yuck factor. People talk about, I can't, wash it. I can't do, touch whatever it is. So how do we convince a young girl that these reusable towels are a much safer options and more hygienic than even what we buy on the supermarkets?
So we have to multiply dialogue this out. Through different actors now. I cannot do it alone, but definitely when I get a group of girls, I do this. But you need to mentor them. See, we are the one who mentored them saying single-use pad is available, right? So we should be the one who is changing the conversation and say there is other option also, which is reusable sanitary towels. And to have access, now this is where we need multiple partners. See, the government should be our first partner to make it available at least at the county level, village level, or even if through the medical hospitals, because we have marked it as a medical product. We have never, but medical emergency or medical product you don't require every month unless you are really ill with a chronic one, right?
Yes.
But we have to normalize this conversation. We have to have multiple people to have this dialogue. We have to involve every ministry also in this dialogue. And I see my work has been noticed out there, because having availability is one thing, and having availability for 2 years, which we have innovated, that's also another sustainable way. But the third sector where we try to cover it up is also teach the girls how to make these sanitary towels. It's as easy as that. You
That's
see, in
very
home
true.
science, we used to teach earlier the practicality of the lifestyle, isn't it? How to stitch your own shirt, or it is torn, then how you should know to put the running stitch at least. But with the new syllabus, we have taken away those skills. Can you believe when I go to the field to teach them how to make their own towels, some of the girls don't know how to hold their own scissors.
Oh.
This is how
But the situation
paralyzed
is-
we have done them. I'll put it that way. It's directly, because if you don't know how to hold the scissor, how are you going to even cut the thread to make your own towel? So we need to come up with a solution by making every area sustainable, individual sustainable. So even if tomorrow Aruna is not there, or Together for Better is not there, or we are not there to support that girl, she'll able to sustain her girls in her family tree at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Doctor, what I'm getting here, it's totally different from
Yeah.
what I have in my head, or what I perceive. I've heard about reusable towels.
Reusable, yes.
Yeah. Now, what you're saying is that they can make it
Yeah.
by themselves.
Yeah. As young as 8 years old girl can make her own pad.
Okay. Now you have to explain that how.
Or demonstrate.
Yes.
We would love to.
I actually do that. Definitely on the radio, I can only talk.
Yes.
So we normally source the cotton material within area.
Okay.
And in Kenya, cotton is rich. Cotton material, you find it everywhere. Even if I've gone as far as Turkana, you do see the cotton material, right? You have to use the highest thread of cotton material or absorbent material. And then you just have to size those pads and stitch it around and put the button which holds the underwear. As simple as that.
For it to be a comfortable
Yeah.
period, time, let's say
Yes.
every month we get our periods,
Yeah.
on average, how many should a girl have to sustain her
pads.
comfortably?
Six pads. To keep also hygiene, make sure they are changing on time, washing on time. Do not also give extra pads by doing that. You're not then helping also a girl. It's good to give a correct numbers of the pads and teach them on hygiene, how to practice is also. It's very important.
Okay.
You've
You'll come
talk-
back to your earlier comment that how do you feel wash. See, when we talk to the girls, I actually take direct to them. Do you feel dirty to wash your own undergarments? And they said no. Do you feel dirty when you go for the bathroom for your long call? You still have to wash yourself, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Then how do you say period is dirty? When the period blood is pure, it has a strength to give a birth to another child. You get me, right?
Yeah, I get you.
I can see all the time eyes are going sparkle like I'm learning, I'm connecting something here, right? But it's true, right? Can you believe if a woman is not menstruating, can she give a birth to another child?
No.
And can you believe if there is, in the world there is no woman who will menstruate, then will God able to give birth to another person?
No.
Then who is a powerful person after God?
A
It is
woman.
A woman.
Yes.
100%.
She's
Yeah, it is.
boxing us. Hapo kwa kona.
Mwenye aliandika ngoma
No, I'm
inaitwa
not
God is a
boasting, but
Woman.
I'm saying the
Ariana Grande.
expression.
Yeah.
That okay, I'm connecting to the reusable, to the dirtiness of the period, and
Yeah,
now there's a
and
powerful,
washing
and
and-
then now you're giving another another meaningful conversation,
Yeah.
which is very important to understand. You know, that's why I said earlier, this is not only medical conversation. This is actually practically, you can think through that why or why not. You see,
Yeah.
it's happening. It's not something by the book.
Yeah.
It's physically happening.
I feel like with how we were raised, you know, when a
Yes.
girl is menstruating, you're told that that girl is dirty. That's where the
Yes.
stigma comes in. When you see that, you know, reusable pad, you term it as, I cannot touch that, it is dirty.
Yeah.
But now when we change the narrative and we start educating them from a very young age, this is not about being dirty, but it's about you're growing, one day you're going to be creating
Yes.
life. That's when they become more receptive
Yeah.
to cleaning these things. And you mentioned something about hygiene. So maybe to break it down for someone that is listening to us right now,
Yeah.
what is the care routine if a girl is at school or is at work and they're using these reusable pads? How would they take care of themselves to ensure that they're good?
So few things happens, not only for reusable pads. Even if you are wearing a single-use pad, you still have to change your sanitary towel every 5 to 6 hours. And now depends on
Every 5 to
5
6.
to 6 hours.
Yes.
That's again depends on your period flow. My period flow can be heavy today. I need to change even earlier than 6 hours. Where someone else's period can be lighter, she can stay slightly longer. But if you want to really put the practice into the hygiene, into the practically way, every 5 to 6 hours, you must change your towel and wash your private area with the clean water and then wear a fresh towel. Other things they have to do is take care of themselves. They are very sensitive in those 3 to 4 days because of hormonal change.
Okay.
Yeah. So understand your own emotions. Understand your body is very important. Do not neglect. If you're craving for a food, you know which food goes into the system. You should know. Not the Fanta is always the energy drink, as we say, right? Fanta is a fantasy drink. So we have to understand our own body and replace it with the correct method. If you need a rest, period rest is not for 4 to 5 days. Period rest is normally 1 to 3 hours. After that, your body is fine. Once you relax your body, you can come back to your normal activity.
What do you mean by period rest?
Because remember, right now, our county government said that you're allowed to have 2 days rest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good size of break given to the menstruation woman. But let's say right now I tell you that I have a period pain.
Yeah.
I can't talk right now. Within 1 to 2 hours, if I go silent and I might put down my head on this table and sit there, just silently to recover, understand my body and relax my body, I'll able to come back to my normal activity in that 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So asking for help should not be shy away. Don't stay silent. You see, woman is trying to come into the corporate world, right?
Yes.
They are there already, but they are more pushing it themselves, right? But now in a men's world, if you don't talk about your menstrual when you need help, are you really helping yourself? Does men know what happens to you?
No.
Until you express. So we are the woman also needs to have an open conversation.
Yeah.
We can't say it's only for women. I will not need to share with men. Nothing happens to the men. Guys, men do go through also hormonal change once in a month. It's just that don't receive menses. That's it.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay, it's your time. It's your time to talk. Right? But yes, because your body is also growing as ours.
Oh.
No, it's not. Oh, it's true. Because you remember, after you are 13 or 14 years old, see your voice change.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You also get pubic hairs, the way woman gets. Right?
True.
Your body structure change. So hormonally, once a month, you go through change also. In case you have that you don't feel like talking to anybody, you see, even we keep saying to the men that you have to be strong. You can't cry.
We don't cry.
No.
I don't. I cannot speak
Because
for Josh.
you come from the men's world. But easily you can cry. There is one day you have so much stress, you're allowed to cry. Why not?
Salim, you are allowed to cry.
You're allowed to cry. But you can't be crying every day also. That's not normal. Right?
Yes.
But once in a while, you're allowed to cry. You're allowed to express yourself. But what we have said also to the men, you have to be strong because you are a man. This is how a boy child has been brought up. That's why the suicide cases in a man is increasing.
Yes.
So the hormonal change happens for the both gender, guys.
Yeah.
It's
So-
only that we men, we don't.
Yes, you
You
don't
don't
bleed.
know.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we don't know because
you
This is
you
the first
you
time.
know, but because you have been told you're not allowed to express.
Oh, they
You have been
can't
told you are a man.
clarify.
You have to be strong. You can't be like a woman.
Mm.
You see, we are the one who has put all these kind of
that shield.
shield.
Mm.
And now woman says the same thing. It happens to me. Now, men will not understand.
Mm.
Men have to understand, because in my life I have immediate person is my father. If my father don't understand me, how am I going to express to my brother and my husband and my boy child in the future?
Yeah.
So both needs to have that. That's where we said you have to break the silence.
100%.
Right? You need to break the silence. And this is something I see most of the coastal region. And that's why this interview was very important, that this conversation has to happen at the dinner table as a family.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling well, I should able to talk in my family that today I have my 3rd day of my periods. I feel like vomiting. I feel like I have a lot of period. I feel like I need to go see doctor. Why should I wait for the Google to happen, and then worst scenario happens, and then my parents rush me to doctor?
Also, now this is a situation whereby we, in any case during your period, you're either having migraines or the pains. I don't know how to call them.
Cramps.
The
It's
cramps,
called period
yes.
cramps.
Yeah, I've seen people go through the worst of worst period cramps. Yani they
Yes.
can't walk, they can't stand.
Yes.
Wengine hadi tunawapeleka hospitalini.
Yes.
There's really no way of being able to diagnose or to know what the problem is, or at least like a fast mitigation at least.
Yes, but do you know
it's
what?
very scary.
Yeah, but do you know,
Yeah.
if you, I'm taking example.
Yes.
You have a mom.
Yes.
You know, every mom, your mom receive one period at least in a month.
Yes.
If you know her dates, you'll able to track that space already. That this is like, let's say every 28 days period comes. 26 days to 28 days. Okay? If you know your mom's period cycle, then you say, okay, mom now will feel tired because she's going to receive her period anytime. So what happens? She will change everything around what you're doing to her or helping her, right?
Yes.
So that's what we need to do.
Controversially, I want to ask you.
Yes.
So this should be the mandate of every gentleman to know the period cycle of my mom, my sister, my girlfriend, my
At least
co-worker.
the nature of the period you should know. Because every woman which you come across in your life has a different cycle.
Yes.
But at least basic knowledge that period should last 7 days. Period comes when she gets a lot of cramps and headache and everything. Period happens every 28 days to 26 days.
Yes.
She has to wear a sanitary towel. She needs to hydrate herself. She needs to deal with the period pain. These are the basic knowledge every man should know.
Now, when you're talking about that basic knowledge,
Yes.
I am a man.
Yes.
I'm okay with it because I have daughters. I have my wife. I'm not going to talk about my mom.
Yeah.
That one in a car ish. But
See,
my wife and my daughters, yes, I know all that. But outside here,
Yes.
so many men, gentlemen, they feel like it's not their stuff.
You know why? Because also we as a woman, we said it's not men's stuff.
So what
Did I talk to the men? How will men know if he's not menstruating? Simple as that. It's not only from men's side. The problem is also from women's side. They need to break the silence.
Yes.
They need to talk.
So
They need to talk. They need to involve the men, at least immediate men in their life.
okay.
Yeah. That's how we call it break the silence, right?
Yes.
We need to. Now, if I go to the gynecologist and he's a man, if I don't talk about my periods, then how will he know?
He won't.
Yeah, then you talk there. So that's not the man. It's true,
You
right?
talk to the doctor who is a man,
Yeah,
but you
it-
can't.
Yeah, but hypothetically, even if, let's say, I don't want to choose the gynecologist who is man and I say woman, but husband goes with me, and then that woman doctor has to talk to my husband about my problem. Because then now you're talking as a couple. She has to react,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
True.
See? So that conversation is normal.
So what should we do?
Both needs to put an effort to have a dialogue. That's why I said dinner table conversation is very important. Even if not about periods. Bring that culture in your family that at least one meal you sit together and have interaction. and talk about day-to-day activities, talk about how they're feeling about it. That's the only way we reduce the mental stress. That's the only way we will reduce the suicide cases. That's the only way we reduce period poverty.
100%.
Okay.
When we were talking about the reusable products,
Yeah.
I thought this was a product that you guys were selling. So what I wanted to ask is about the government's intervention.
Yeah.
This year, the government increased the taxes and levies on
Yes,
sanitary
NEMA did.
products by 20%.
Yes.
So do you feel like the government is doing enough to eradicate period poverty? Because when you see a rise of, let's say, a box of tampons, like I buy a box of tampons for 350 shillings, the normal
Yes.
size. I think it's Cortex. And some time back, it was like 320.
Yeah.
Now it's 350.
Yes.
So do we really feel like the government is on our side when it comes to matters period
Yes.
poverty?
Yes, because now, in a 7 years journey, I'll take you a little bit back,
Yes.
how far it comes from.
Mhm.
There was no policy on reusable sanitary towels.
Okay.
Okay, different actor came together and we contributed to the policy, and I'm one of it because I wanted to make it available, this reusable sanitary towels, for any girl out there. After that, when I went back and I asked myself question that now can I put this sanitary towel in supermarket? No, there was another blockage because we need the standards. You can't sell anything just in a supermarket.
True.
So I said, how can I contribute towards this one now? Because I was sitting with the very tangible data and a learning. And because I personally conducted all this, so I said, how can I do this? So when I invited KEBS to come to my workshop where I make my pads, and I educated them. The first officer who came in my workshop, he's actually said and appreciated that, thank you for educating me, because we are all men in policy makers and sitting into that KEBS office making decisions, some of them, there is no woman who comes through to educate us on this topic. See how men is ready, but are we ready also as a woman? So I contributed to the Kenya Bureau standards.
Mhm.
They adopted me as a technical officer now. I do bring my input into Kenya Bureau standard as officer. The next step is to bring it to the international standards.
Okay.
And now I contribute towards UNEP and I represent Kenya there.
Yeah.
So it's very important. Yes, county is doing, or country is doing a lot. Why they have to put levy? Guys, you have to understand, this is not only we are talking about menstrual product, we are talking about environment. Right now, we are all going through extreme heat, even when I'm in Mombasa.
Yes.
Food security is another problem, environment and all the disaster happening with the nature. We need to protect somewhere. Once upon a time, I was a recycler and I had a recycler factory, a plastic recycling factory in Mombasa.
Yes.
When I used to do the sea cleaning, deep sea cleaning,
Yes.
I found sanitary towels lying under the sand inside the deep sea. How far that pad has gone, which is single-use pad. See, NEMA is doing it. It has to be favorable because we are importing everything where we have a capacity to make it everything in Kenya.
Yeah.
So we are trying to now push it to the manufacturer or maybe a innovator to bring it out something within Kenya, so we promote those products.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, it's very important because how are you going to clean your environment otherwise? Right? Somebody has to participate towards that, and increasing on the 20% is understandable because we need money to do other damage we are doing to the environment.
Yeah.
How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Now, someone will ask now.
Yes.
With the data that Josh has shared about the increment and
Yes.
what have you,
Yes.
how long will it take for us now kukumbatia the reusable towels, because I believe the bigger percentage we use the ones
Yes.
zenye ziko kwa maduka. That one we can agree, and we have ladies wenye they are not ready to use the reusable.
Yes.
So how long will it take for us to accept the new norm?
Long way to go.
Yeah.
Long way to go because, as we said, it's a lot of narrative you have to change around it, right? First of all, your period is not dirty. Washing your own period pad should not feel dirty. But same time, because I come from innovation space, the single-use pad was innovated for specific market. I would not say they are wrong,
Okay.
right? But what we did as a human, we started misusing the innovation.
True.
I was not supposed to wear that pad every month. Unless I'm sick, unless I'm traveling where I can't wash my pad, unless that space where I cannot access to any other pad, then that become my common product in every continent I travel. You get me?
Yeah. yeah.
But what we have did as women, because we love fancy item, I'll put it that way now. We just started buying it off the shelf. It's that easy. Even when I go to the young girls in the schools, and if I put a single-use pad and reuse pad, they'll definitely pick single-use pad. But as a mentor, am I putting a correct dialogue out there, a correct option? No. I need to move away from the single-use pad and put forward the reusable pad. Because they don't understand that this is 2-year solution, this is 1 month solution. Yeah?
I feel like that comes about because not so many people know the science around the reusable pads in terms of how beneficial they are in the environment at large, even for us. For example, someone like me, I don't think I've come across the reusable pads, and I've been someone that has been menstruating for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it from a perspective of this is easy to use, and this one I know nothing about. Like I had asked you earlier about the care routine.
Yes.
You know, is it a logistic nightmare? Because I look at it from that perspective. I'm someone that clocks into work at 6 a.m. I need to know if I'm using a reusable pad. Is it easier for me to change it while I'm at work, or take us through that process, because there's someone that is listening out there and they want to make that shift from the normal one-use pad to reusable pad. Maybe give them a brief, understanding of how easily it is to use the...
It's a very practical product. It's just like any other sanitary towels. Only one thing we do different is we store it. Right? So you still have to wear these pads every 5 to 6 hours. There's a way we teach them how to fold it and put it in a waterproof pouch. Until she reach at home, when she has a shower, that's the time she has to wash those pads and dry it under the sun. It's as easy as the single-use pad. Only extra thing you're doing is you washing it when you go home. The other one is easy to throw it in any dustbin out there.
Yes, and for someone that's in Mombasa with the hot, humid environment, how is the comfortability?
Now I ask you a question back. A plastic pad, is it breathable or unbreathable?
Unbreathable.
Unbreathable.
Yes.
So in your private area, there'll be ventilation or no ventilation?
No ventilation.
No ventilation. So which one and the single-use pad, reuse pad is plastic-free. It's cotton material. Is cotton material breathable or not breathable?
Breathable.
It's breathable. Which one generate the heat now?
The plastic
The
one.
plastic one.
Yes.
Those are some of the conversations that not so many people look deep into them, because they don't know the science behind the reusable, and awareness is something that we need to have more often so that we can make the switch.
So let me just allow me to talk a little bit both pads. Single-use pad, one is availability. 2 is plastic product. 3, it has a chemical component which brings artificial period pain also. 4 is also have other side effects like skin rashes, allergies, or also it can be a cervical cancerous if you don't change on time and misuse the product. Right? And it's bad for your environment. Once you throw it out there, it takes 800 years to decompose. That means even first pad which was innovated is still lying somewhere on the land. Where reusable pads, cotton is available anywhere. Because even if you go to the place like Turkana or even Samburu, Shuka and Kikoi is available in cotton. Yeah. Despite that, it's chemical free. So period pain reduce. It's plastic free. Rashes and allergies are not chances unless you misuse the product. Despite that, it's sustainable for 2 years.
Very
it's comfortable.
economical.
Cotton is always, any cloth you wear, amongst any type of material you have, cotton is always comfortable to put it on your body, next to your body.
Yes.
And once life is over for these reusable sanitary towels and you throw it out there, it takes 3 months to decompose because it's organic products. Yeah.
Amazing. Dr. Aruna Varsani, thank you for your time. I would love to share that today we're having a session, isn't it?
Yes.
Together for Better Foundation, together with Swahili Pot Hub Foundation and Kenya Red Cross Foundation.
Yes.
We are doing a menstrual health and hygiene education session today from 9 a.m.
Yeah.
at Swahili Pot Hub.
Yes.
So maybe give us a 1 minute breakdown of what is going to be happening, then we can close this.
So the workshop will start at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
First, to have an intro to between 3 different partners is very important, because Red Cross comes also in a innovation space, in a health sector, and we do have a partnership. So put that forward.
Yes.
Swahili Hub Foundation became a very special and close to my heart, because I'm constantly watching what they're doing in a coastal region, and they have a big outreach. So definitely first is to have a networking session.
Yes.
To understand each other, to know who are we interacting with. I'll take them through the PowerPoint where we're going to teach about menstrual health and hygiene, and the fourth half of the day, we are going to give them a room to ask us questions.
Yes.
Having a constructive conversation, because even if I have a 13 years of experience in a coast area, maybe it's different. So it's a take and give a kind of room we are going to create. And in the last, they will able to see the reusable sanitary towels. They can feel it. They can get our information. If there is organizations are there, they'll able to even have those kind of future planning with our Mombasa team, that they can go and teach them how to make sanitary towels. Definitely it's not today to learn about the making of towels, but you'll able to see the product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for gracing us.
Thank you.
We'll be joining you at the hub. If we finish our show, that's by 10. So
Yes.
Shamsa will be there.
Yes, to
I
learn.
will be there.
And
Josh is going to
I'm
be there.
waiting for you to answer some of the questions, because now you know everything about it.
Okay.
So if the question
100%.
comes, you please be there to break the silence.
Okay, thank you.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.